Can you see anything in the live? Is it working? Yeah, seems to be working. Okay. Sorry, this is the first time I'm opening. Okay, it seems to be working. Sorry, the first time I'm doing this without Vi and or Ted, so it's a bit strange. Give me a sec just to be sure. Yeah. Can anyone mention in the chat on YouTube if you can hear me? I just want to be sure you can hear me. Okay, it's working. Okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. So the topic of today is to talk about mostly the script called Trade and Trend. So I'm going to explain how I came to develop this script, what it is, and then I will explain how I use it, the basic setup I'm looking at before taking a trade. So the idea behind this script was to be able to measure volatility. As most of you know, assets are driven by their volatility. Bearish vol signify bullish asset. Bullish vol usually signify bearish asset, or at least chop. So when I started on my journey for trading, I was trying to find a way to measure volatility. So the way I did it was first by developing this script. It's called the Volatility script. You can find it on my fractal range script list on TradingView. Our elite users have access to this one. But developing this one, I thought, okay, it's nice, but the problem is I don't see anything on the chart, and I like to make things simple. So I was trying to use the formula I did for volatility and attempted to project it onto price. So it took me many months of work to develop both, and I finally succeeded in developing this one. So the one called Volatility Trade and Trend is the one that you see here. So with the white line, the green line, the red line, what it is basically the volatility here projected onto price to make it very simple to see. Another reason why I wanted to develop volatility was the issue that you have with moving average is that okay, you can hear, is that moving average just tell you what the current situation is. It's not going to tell you potentialities. So, for example, where is vol currently? Where is vol on a longer time frame? Where is vol in a very long time frame? So basically, moving average will not allow you to have a judgment on the current situation. The idea behind the trade and trend of volatility is that it can give you more information. It can tell you, okay, currently the trade is at its historical minimum value. And how you deduct this, for instance, is you're going to check the volatility profile of an asset on a very long time frame, and you're going to note that anytime the trade of volatility of this asset gets to a particular level, it cannot go below. It cannot go below. And what it means is you need to expect volatility to start rising. And what it means for you is you could have a top in progress. Moving average will not give you this information. This will give you this information. So I found this tool particularly useful. At the time, I released it for free for everyone on TradingView. I had a lot of people actually use my scripts, and then we decided to move it to my fractal range account because we thought, okay, it's such a useful tool. Maybe our users should have the benefit of using it. So this is some historical background. Something else is it's not how to say a one strategy thing. We are when we are trading probabilities. So it is one key that you get for your trading in order to improve your odds to be successful in trading. Then, of course, you're going to have to add other tools. So this is why we have my fractal range. My fractal range idea is to give you an edge in terms of probability when you are making decisions. But we also open other scripts, especially these past few weeks. I have opened more scripts like the buy the dip on the daily, the buy and sell on the daily. We had opened before with buy, we had opened ranges. So you can see on TradingView the range, especially when there is a cap to the downside, to the upside. The cap being that you have long-term range at the bottom equal to the normal range at the bottom, or same thing at the top. Another script that I use a lot is VAI-MOMO. So it's a tool that VAI is using for his to measure the momentum of a stock on the short term, medium term, and long term. So all these tools combined will give you an edge when you are making probability decisions for any asset. The scripts will work on any assets. It's then your assessment to decide, okay, those tools work particularly best on certain assets. How you do this? Because, for example, on MFR, we measure Hearst. You can see that some assets trend better than others using Hearst, and then meaning that the tool for trade and trend will work better for those particular assets. So this is another point I want to make. Trade and trend is very useful to make to improve your odds, but you need to consider also other tools. One thing I also repeat a lot is you need to appropriate these tools. You need to backtest them. You need to use them on your own. And you will start to notice, okay, these are the patterns that work. These are the patterns that don't work. This is where I put my stop when I test an entry because the system is telling me to take an entry. This is the kind of assets I will not use the tools on because they are non-trending, etc. So then, how to use this script? Most of the time, 99% of the time, for swings, I will use it on daily. So I would encourage you to plug this volatility trade and trend tool on the daily first and go through assets to see, okay, these are the assets that seems to be trending. The script seems to be working for these ones. And these are the assets, maybe they are a little bit too choppy. So maybe I need more, I need another tool maybe that works best. For example, for chopping assets, range will work better than maybe trade and trend tool. I also use them for my day trading. So I use the trade and trend on the 3 minutes, on the 1 hour, on the 2 hours time frames for my day trading strategies. If you day trade, you can try to have a look. There are some minimum of vol or maximum of vol that you can mark on these different time frames. So I already did a video on that when I explained how to use this script, so you can have a look at it. You just go to the channel on YouTube for MFR and you will find it. Also, for a very limited number of tickers, I will use on the weekly. This will work, for example, on tickers such as DXY, yields, FX, from currencies in general, and some stocks that will work particularly well on the weekly to catch the big moves. So for DXY and for dollar and yields and other foreign currencies, these are the macro moves. So I'm going to go through everything as we move forward in this video. So now I'm going to share with you the basic setup. You already know this setup because I have explained it for the VIX, for example, before I buy some puts. But this is the same idea for stocks, for precious metals, for cryptos, etc. The idea is very simple. You want to take a position long when volatility is decreasing, trade is decreasing, trade of volatility is decreasing, and trend of volatility is decreasing. So the basic setup for long is as followed. So I'm going to go through a list of stocks, tickers, sorry. So I call them the trending assets. So you have Tesla, ES, which is S&P futures, Netflix, and gold. I will show you some entries that you could have taken and the kind of results that you could have gotten simply by using the trade and trend setup. Sure, you can improve your odds using other scripts, etc. But this video is about trade and trend. So we will go with this one first. So trade is very simple. First, you need to get price above trade and trend. So this is Tesla. I'm taking an example here. You need to have price above trade and trend. This is what you have here. The second thing you need to get is trade to cross trend. So this is what happened somewhere here. You can see here on the Vola, this is when they crossed. So this is usually when, if I have the desire to take a position long on the stocks I've been or ticker I've been watching, this is where I'm going to start a position. And then I'm going to monitor, okay, is this holding MFR trend? How MFR trend is behaving? Are other signals giving me the go ahead for this? Sorry. This is Vaidotas. Sorry. Same screen on Zoom on. Ah, you can see the chart. Okay, guys, sorry. This is maybe why you are not seeing it. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Vi, for ringing. Okay, sorry about that. So, okay, good thing I didn't start yet this part. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I'm gonna go through that again. So what you are looking for is price above trade and trend. So this is green and white line. Price above that, you need to check if you are above MFR trend to give you some more, some better odds, etc. But you need to have at least this first thing. Second is when you have, so trade and trend, they cross. So you can see here, and you can see here. So this is when I start to take the position long. The add that you can get, so in this scenario, we didn't have it, is a retest of trade. So sometimes you're going to get a retest of trade. In this scenario, we don't have it. So this is when I usually start to take a position. You have volatility going down, trade crossing trend and pointing down. This is your first entry. So you get in at that place. When do you start to sell some? So because we have a trending asset, your target is, as I mentioned before, the minimum trade value historically for this asset. So you have to go through all the tickers to mark them. So for example, for Tesla, I have marked two. So one is this one, it's around 9.2, another one is 3.5. This is the places where historically, if you look at the chart history on the daily, this is where you start to have tops. This is where vol, trade of vol cannot go even cannot go lower. This is when volatility will start to rise. So this is basically when you should have potentiality of a top. So the way I would trade, for example, this one would be I enter here, there is no ad, and I start to take some profit there. So this is a basic example, but for example, if you took this trade and you get out here, this is a 43% increase in the stock value. So you can imagine then some plays to maximize the gains. If you just want to hold Tesla, you just buy the Tesla stock. But let's say you are playing through options. 43% increase in the stock is a very big result if you are playing your odds with leverage. So I'm gonna see if I mark some stuff. Yeah. And when do you cut? So for instance, in this scenario, using trade and trend. So the way I will decide if I need to cut, there are two things I don't like to see. First is when you have vol actually starting to rise, and then vol starting to make a higher high. So here you can see on the blue line, so we started to get the vol spike. It's not surprising. We went to mid one, so it was a potentiality we expected. This is why we sold some here. And then vol start to make a higher high. This is not good. Vol making higher high means that there is a potentiality for the asset to transfer to chop or even to bearish trend. So you don't want to play this. What you want is you want to play the trend. So you cut here. In this example, so you made quite a nice move. You cut. Even when you cut here, you are still in profit. So this is an example for Tesla. I'm going to see if I mark some more. Sorry. Okay, so this is another example here. So up, let's go. So let's say you cut the position here because, okay, I have a rising vol. Vol is making higher high, meaning chop, potentiality of bearish trend. But because this is a ticker that you monitor a lot, you know its vol profile, and you know that you have, for example, you have the macro background that is quite good for this kind of stock. So you would be watching, okay, maybe there will be another entry. The next entry would be, okay, MFR trend is still bullish. Trade could not cross trend on the opposite side, and actually trade is starting to go back down. Okay, this is when you get back in. Here, MFR is still holding bullish trend, volatility is going down, trade is starting to point down. This is when I take an entry. Then you wait. Here, another retest of MFR trend, no break. No break, you have a stop somewhere below trend. For now, you're not getting stopped out. And here what you get is a retest of trade. So this is when you can get your ad. So again, trade going down, volatility pointing down, and you finally get your retest of trade. This is where you add. And here we enter the same scenario. Trade is going to min one, out some. And here would be, sorry, I didn't mark, but here you have volatility making higher high somewhere here. And this is where you would have cut the position. So again, let's say you have an average somewhere here. On your first entry, you got another 49% up move. And when you cut, so the higher high in vol was somewhere here. You had another move of 77% up on Tesla. So this is an example that you have for Tesla. So again, the reason why I took Tesla is because this is one very nice stock that will be trending when you have a very good macro backdrop behind you. Now I'm going to show you ES. So I marked a lot of stuff, so it will be a bit boring, but you can rewatch and you can test on your side. Okay, so for example, here, same setup. You have volatility starting to go down. You have trade of volatility starting to go down. And first entry is when they cross. Okay, this is when you start your position long. So it's around here. So the arrow was not properly placed, but let's say you enter here. And as usual, you marked your min. So the min is somewhere here. This is where you start to sell some. So in this scenario again, no stress, you took a swing, and what you did was a 12% up move in ES in the length of what, 3 months? That's pretty good. Here you are at min 2 being the second minimum that you marked because you check the past for ES and you sell some more. And here, what you have is volatility starting to rise because we went to min 1 and min 2. Again, when you reach this kind of levels for trade, this is where you should expect volatility to start rising. And when you get out when vol is starting to make a higher high. So you cut the position there. Again, let's check the performance that you did. You entered somewhere here. And you cut here, that's a 16% up move. And you are not taking the drawdown. You are not taking this risk. It doesn't matter if you don't nail the bottom. What you want is you want to catch the trend, right? Here we have the same scenario as laid out in Tesla. You had some chop. Then volatility is starting to go back down again. Trade is starting to go back down. You have confirmation. You get back in. Here you get the retest of trade. Here we are back at mid 1. This is where you start to sell some. And here what you have is again volatility starting to rise. It's making higher low, higher highs. This is where you cut. And you avoid this kind of sell-off. And again, what you did was here, you enjoyed, even if you cut, you enjoyed a nice 6% up move in ES. And you are not taking the drawdown here. You don't care. You don't care about that. You are not stressed. You're not thinking, oh my God, should I hold? It's breaking here. Maybe the end of the world is starting. You don't care because you are not in this move. You already took the buy here and you cut there. Okay, then you start to get the move up. And here you could tell me, hey, Raf, why you are not taking the long here? So this is where your probability decisions will be very important. Again, you need to check other tools. You need to check MFI. You need to check other scripts. In this scenario, so I will use ViMomo to tell me, okay, maybe this is not the right place to take the position. Why? Because we have the short-term Momo of Vi at 2.45. Usually, 2 for ES is a very high value for the short-term Momo. When you are at 2, it means the market is overextended. So despite the fact that trade and trend are signaling that you could open a position. Vimomo on the short term it's too high. So you want to see short-term Momo at least back down from this 2 level and see, okay, when this happens, when it's back down and volatility trade and trend is giving me a potential entry, should I take it or not? So this is where actually the better entry happens. So here you have vol going down and trade is starting to decrease. You can see here 3.6, 3.5, and you have vol decreasing. When you check Vimomo, we are in a good place to start the position. So this is when you get back in. So you cut there, you're basically opening again your position almost at the same price, but you avoided all this crap where you are stressed, you are like, oh my God, did I make the right decision or not? You don't care because you're not trading it. And here you get back in, and then the same thing happened again. You're waiting for min one. This is where you sell some. And then what happens is, okay, vol is making higher highs. This is where I cut. So again, what you did was, so here we are somewhere here. We made another 8% move. And even when we cut the position here, we are still in profit. So we took 3 trades, which are, in my opinion, quite big, and we avoided all the chop or the potential drawdown that happens when you have rising vol. So the warnings that you need to check when you are in a training move are when volatility, so again the blue, is starting to make so higher low, of course, but higher highs, because these are the signals that will tell you chop is about to begin, or maybe bearish move is about to begin. Now let's go to Netflix. So you can see these scenarios, they repeat on many stocks. And just by checking these stocks with this script, you're going to be able to identify them. And all you need to know after are what it looks like, what they look like, when I need to take some, when I need to just get out of the position, etc. So I'm going to show you another one. So this is Netflix. So you can see it's very good because, for example, Tesla and Netflix, they are very high beta stocks. So when they move, they move. So here you have the cross, you take the position. Here you have the retest of trade, you add. Then we arrive at the first min mark somewhere here. Here we arrive at the second min, which is there, so out more. And finally, same setup. Here you would have cut. Okay, here you would have cut. Yeah. Okay. So let's see the performance again. Let's say you an average of somewhere here. Okay, so that's a 28% move, and here that's a 38% move. So again, let's imagine you are playing with leverage, and you are taking, let's say you are buying call options with, I don't know, like 6 months to 1 year expiry. Just take some Lotto, for example, Lotto calls. I mean, these are crazy moves, crazy moves. Okay, let's go to gold. Then we're going to go with crypto, and you're going to see it's absolutely insane. So gold, for instance, yeah, that was one beautiful move here. So yeah, that was entry here. So same setup. You have trade going down, volatility crashing. It's reclaiming MFR trend. So again, you are improving your odds. This is where you buy some. Then we arrive here. This is a min one. And unfortunately, we didn't go to min 2 here. But here you have vol rising, and we are making higher highs on vol. So you cut here. And you avoid all this chop where you are rethinking your life, etc. You don't care. You are not in this move. You already ate the meat of the move here. So for example, for gold, you enter here. Here you have almost a 10% move, and you cut here, you have a 12% move. Again, crazy moves. So these are for a few tickers that I selected to show you, because these are the ones, for example, among many that I monitor, because they can deliver you regular income just by simply playing this setup. Now I'm going to go with crypto, because we entered the bull market between Q2 and Q3 of last year, and the moves have been insane. So I'm going to show you a few examples. So especially the setup works quite nice here. Okay, so this is for Bitcoin. So same cross here, you get back, you get in here. Here you have the retest of trade, you add some more, and then your target is what is minimum volatility trade value. It's around here, around 92K, and you cut your position here because volatility is starting to make higher high, higher lows, so you want to get out. Doesn't mean that crypto Bitcoin is not going to 200K. You know, it's just okay. I cut here because the bullish move is over. Now we are entering chop or potential bearish trend change. So we want to play the clean move, and this obviously is not very clean. So in this scenario again, let's imagine you on an average somewhere here. That's almost a 50% move, and when you cut, that's 57 something percent. That's crazy performance. Let's go to Litecoin. I mark the same kind of no, okay, I stopped marking entries, etc., because at that point, I think you are getting it, right? You have the cross somewhere here. You have many retests of trade, actually, where you can add, and the move finally starts. So same kind of perf. Let's say you enter right at the cross somewhere here. And I didn't mark the mean, but I would guess they are somewhere in this vicinity. So that's a 90% move. You just double your money. Ethereum, same. Very beautiful. So price above trade and trend. We have the cross somewhere here. You take the position. You have the retest of trade. Mean should be in this vicinity. I didn't mark it for Ethereum, but it should be in this vicinity. And you should get stopped out somewhere here as vol is rising. So you get stopped out, you avoid all this drawdown. You don't need to think about it. Then solve. Same setup. We enter. Okay, so for example, here we didn't get, it was already, it was in chop here. But here start to go down, volatility start to go down, you start to enter. MFR is confirming the trend change. I mean, you have many places to add here, and I didn't mark the mean for this one, but that's another example. And even Doggy is the same kind of setup. So this one is actually quite beautiful. Sorry, I'm gonna have to increase the screen so you can see. So the setup remains the same. We are above, we have the cross, you take the position, you can add anytime here. I mean, the most important is as long as you have a stop and you are playing the odds, especially in crypto, the upside is insane. So I would guess that the mean was somewhere in this vicinity. So that's also a crazy move. You just like tripled your money just by following that. So this is a few examples of where you can make easy money just by respecting the setup I have mentioned for trade and trend. So now I want to go with some tickers where they don't have enough history to generate trend. So I forgot the number of iteration I need for trade and trend, but I think trend is like 1,000 iteration. So some tickers, they don't have it. So it's especially true for cryptos. They are popping out, especially in these crazy cycles. So sometimes you don't have the trend. So let's say, for example, Sui, I have many friends, they bought this one. And you heard somebody say, okay, Sui is the next best thing. So trade works very nicely also on cryptos. So because all those stickers on in crypto for Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, they were telling you, okay, this is clearly there is a beginning of a bullish cycle in crypto, and this new one, you hear it's very good potentiality, etc. So you can use trade also to generate an idea of an entry for this one. You have MFR trend confirming here that you have bullish trend change. And here you have Vola retesting trade. So this is typically where you can start to enter. You have confirmation of trend. You can load the boat in this vicinity. And then what you can do is you can actually monitor Vimobo to see, okay, where are we on the extreme? Or you can either use maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum as proxy to tell you, okay, this is where maybe crypto is going to face some headwind. So I'm going to close the position. But for example, in this one, let's say you played using so trade and you confirm when to start to unload or if I can get out with Bitcoin, you time for your investment in Sui. Especially now that we are more and more testing trend on crypto space. Some cryptos have entered bullish trend, bearish trend, sorry. So you maybe want to avoid the chop. So you don't have the trend on this one, but you have the trend on Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So you can make a judgment call on those ones, despite the fact that you don't have trend. Another one, this is just for fun, guys, but you can go through every ticker like this. So Shibu, same. Started to see here retest of trade. Trade was pointing down, so you knew at the time that okay, maybe there is a setup there. You had confirmation of Bitcoin. You take a position in this vicinity and say, okay, so that's another example. When you don't have trend, especially true for crypto, trade will work as well. It will give you an information, and you can use in crypto. You can use Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. as proxies to give you more information about what's going on. So I mentioned that it's best to go with trending assets. There are two ways I check trending asset. The first one is I go to MFR and I check the Earth value on 3 months and 1 year. This gives me a very good information of what kind of Earth value this asset has. To make it simple, 3 months above 0.7 trending asset, 1 year above 0.6 trending asset. So that's a good way to thin out the herd. The second way, it's very simple. Just look at the asset. Just look at the asset. Some of them they just do like chops. When there is the setup trade and trend, they just go up for 2-3 months, then go down. Then again 2 or 3 months, then go down. So I'm going to give you an example. This is one French peg that I trade quite a lot. And you can see with your own eyes, this one is very, very choppy. But anytime we have the setup, you can play it for a few months. Up. You have a cross, didn't work. I will show you when they don't work and when you get out. I think I have an example of an Apple and Nike. Here you have a trade going down, so you could have taken the position, etc. But these ones, they are chopping assets. So you can see with your own eyes. You can also check the house. So those ones I would say maybe not the kind of assets you want to play. Another chopping one is US oil. So this one, even though you can make big money when there is a change of trend, it's when you have a bullish trend on this one, it doesn't last long. I mean, sure, the move are insane, so of course you can play, right? But the move don't last long. Here, you have a lasting bearish trend though, but the bullish trend usually don't last very long. So this one, you can see the setup is always the same, right? So you can play it, but you have to know that when you are entering a bull trade on, for example, oil, the money will be made in a very short time. You can see the difference with Tesla or ES or even gold, where the move could last a year, maybe more. So those ones you have to know they are not the same as the one I mentioned before. Now I'm going to show you okay, the weekly. So I mentioned that some of them I will monitor on the weekly because it can give you a macro idea about where we are in the cycle. So I just switched to weekly. This is the DXY, and I don't know if you remember, but for the past few months, everybody was like, "Oh, DXY is stopping. DXY is stopping. DXY is stopping." I mean, every fucking day they were telling DXY was stopping, and I was checking the weekly, and I was like, "Yeah, good luck. I mean, good luck with that." You have a trade pointing down, volatility down, so you had a scare here somewhere, but then it resumed this move. You had a very nice one here from July 21 and to October 22. This is very long move. And the same, I remember at the time, everybody was like, "Oh, DXY is stopping, DXY is stopping, DXY is stopping." But when you look at the weekly, you see, okay, this is big macro move. Dollar is moving up, and for now, I don't see any stop to this move. So same, you can mark some trade mean value on the weekly to maybe expect a topping cycle. Another one I monitor on the weekly, so it's yields, but I will show you, for example, the US 30 years. So we got out of the, let's say, at least we got confirmation of the bullish trend on the weekly here on March 22. And since then, what did you have? Boom. Yields just, yeah, more than doubled. Same, you kept hearing during this phase, yields have topped. The market cannot take yields that high. But in the meantime, on the weekly, you had the big move here, confirming that these are big macro moves. So same, weekly, I use very seldom yields, dollar, some foreign, the euro, for instance, USD, so some pairs. I will show you an example with a stock. So this one is Walmart. And I will show you how it looks like when you have a change on this one. So let's say you wanted to place a big move on this one. Same setup. Cross of trade and trend. You entered here. And what you get since then, so that was May 23. Since May 23, what did you have? Volatility very down, unable to break trend. Trade pointing down. You have some kind of choppy action here. So I would guess the daily will tell you what happened. But let's say you entered here, you almost double your money. So the weekly can be monitored on on macro assets and on some tickers that you may have identified as very good trending tickers for long-term moves. Okay, let's get back to daily. I want to show you a potential trade change in one asset I'm looking at. So changing to the daily on ASML. So I want to give you maybe a stock I'm monitoring to see, okay, maybe we get a trend change in the coming weeks. So as many of you know, this sector has been hit quite hard recently. So I say recently, but it's been since July 24, right? And you can see bearish trend, MFR just holding, poof, poof. Anytime they try it, it got smacked down. And here, what I'm starting to see is volatility starting to go down. So volatility is starting to go down, trade of volatility starting to go down, and I'm gonna monitor when these two cross. I'm monitor when these two cross. I'm gonna monitor via Momo what it says when there is a potential entry. But as a test, if you want, you don't need to take a position. I'm not advocating you to take a position, but as a test, I would encourage you to monitor this one. It could end up doing this kind of thing and you never get the cross. But my expectation would be that in the coming weeks, we should get some kind of cross. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But again, you want to see price above trade and trend. You want to see trade and trend cross. This is when you could take a position and see. Of course, this setup don't always work. So I have marked two examples of failed setup, one in Apple and one in Nike, and I'm gonna give you some clues of what to watch to not get your ass delivered to you and know when you can cut the position. So for example, here on Apple, what you got was, okay, here you got the cross of trade and trend with price above it. So a mistake here would have been because Vimomo was at 2. So it would have been a mistake, but let's say you took it. And your stop, let's say it's below my fractal range. Okay, it's holding, so you are adding. And when do you decide to get out? So first, again, you want to see if volatility is starting to make higher high, higher low. So in this scenario, it's starting to happen. And you're getting a reject of MFR trend and of trade. So this is where you cut the position. If you entered here, you add here, your average is somewhere here, you limit the loss. So despite the fact that the setup didn't work, if you enter at the right place and you monitor the trigger to get out of the position, the damage to your portfolio is limited. I want to show you another one. This one actually will give you another clue as to what to watch. This is Nike. I know not Keith is he's trying to catch the bottom on this one. I think he's been trying to buy it for months. Unfortunately, it's been yeah crashing since a long time. And so yeah, this one, that was the place. So here the volatility profile is quite disgusting. So as soon as you get the cross here, it's unable to go up. I mean, the only issue here was earnings, but anytime vol is going down, anytime you want to have trade cross trend, this thing just doesn't want to go. So that's why the cross is very important to watch. You need to see a very nice volatility decrease. You want to see trade nicely going down. You don't want to see this kind of volatility like this is very choppy vol. anytime trade is attempting to cross here, it's just got volatility just increase and increase and increase. So this is the kind of stock you want to avoid. It's very bad setup to take. So that's why you need to check it the way each ticker trade. Okay, just don't take just don't look at the stock and like, okay, oh, trade and trend are crossing prices above, but you haven't looked at the previous experiences when it happened. So each stock has a volatility profile. Most of the time, their profile will never change. So if you have a stock that when it starts to switch from bearish trend to neutral to the setup I mentioned, they will rip. So it's better to trade the stocks. This is where you can make some money. Okay, so I hope it was useful for you. Now I'm gonna stop the share and I'm gonna see if anyone has questions to ask. Okay, you can see your screen. Yeah, sorry for the beginning. Okay. I can hear you. No. Everyone. I show my screen. If you go back to the gold chart, you wouldn't take a position yet because trade hasn't crossed trend yet. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look to this one. So the best guess is you are talking about right now. And yes, okay, let's go. Share. Okay, let's go to gold. Okay, so now, yeah, so people want to we want to get back into gold, right? I mean, we had some crazy move for the past 2 years. So people are like, okay, I need some more of that. So we cut the position here, right? I took a position for different reasons. Here it was my buy the dip scripts that triggered. We should see trading or not. Yeah, because it's for JC, I guess. But okay, but anyway, my buy the dip script trigger here, I added here because I saw volatility get back down, and I expected this cross of trade and trend to be reversed, and I got stopped at somewhere here. Anyway, I didn't take the position based on this script. I took the position based on my buy the dip script. This is another strategy that I have. So the question the user had was, okay, now you're not longing gold because of the fact that trade hasn't crossed trend. That's exactly that. The problem is until you have trade crossing trend, you are still in chop. You don't have a trending move. Sure, gold can rip and maybe get back down and retest trend while trade has finally crossed trend. But here you are trying to project some future that is not even materializing in terms of volatility. So to answer your question, no, I would not take the long gold, despite the fact that it's, I know it's bullish trend on MFR. It's actually bullish trend here on my volatility signal, because on the short term, vol trade is still not above the long-term vol, so trend. And until this happens, I'm not touching gold. I may miss some points, but look, we cut here. I mean, we are back where we cut the position. So did we miss anything? Not really. And do we have probabilities in our favor? No, we don't. So we wait. And again, I have other strategies, buy the dip strategies, etc., that maybe enter here. I made some money on this move, but we are not talking about this strategy today. We are talking about volatility trade and trend. So volatility trade and trend is telling you not yet, not yet. You want to see trade crossing trend. So this was a question from Joe. Do you put alerts on TradingView? And yeah, you can. Actually, you can. Okay, let's hope I can do live. So you go here. Let me check. Yeah, you go here in condition. So Vola TNT. So crossing, yes, good. So you don't do value, you do so volatility TNT. So trade, okay, trend cross trade here. So you see, you can do that. So again, you go to create alert, you select condition Vola TNT, trade, crossing, volatility trade, TNT, trade. So when they will cross, you will get an alert. So if you don't want the trouble of monitoring the chart, you can just, you have a selected number of stocks that you selected the way I told you to select, because they are very good trending assets. You set up this alert, and when they cross, okay, let's have a look. Oh, okay, buy Momo is confirming, MFR is confirming, Hearst is confirming, macro view is confirming, correlations with dollar, yields, etc. It doesn't matter. If things are confirming, okay, I'm opening a position. You set up your stop based on your risk assessment, and let's go. And target, for example, for gold, let's say we start to have a cross and everything aligns in a few weeks, your target will be there at the mean value, the first mean value. Okay, could you review XLE? Looks like no trade cross trend. High by Momo, but very good Hearst. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so again, for energy, the energy sector, so I mentioned that for oil, but usually the moves related to oil stuff is very short. I mean, when you take the long, you know that you are here for just a few weeks, few months. It's not gonna last, right? So, and I'm not surprised looking at XLE. I mean, this one is very, very choppy. Very choppy. It's related to oil, so no surprise. Even when we had here, look, when we had the cross here, the move lasted what? January to April. That's very quick move. So here, okay, let's say you are crazy and you want to buy XLE because you want to make money for a few months. So yeah, first you have buy Momo at 2, so definitely I would not be buying right now. So what you should expect if you really want to buy this one, you want to see a trade and trend cross, but it won't be enough. You need to have buy Momo decrease. If you have buy Momo at least in this vicinity, maybe 1 or below, when the cross happens, you can take the position. If not, you have the cross, I would wait for a retest of trade and then reassess when to take a position. But yeah, actually, it's like, look at this. I mean, does it look like a training asset? No, it doesn't. Okay. Any of you have another question? You can request to have access to Zoom and share your screen to. Right. Let me stop sharing and then have a look if anyone is asking. Can you please review one of the FX pairs? Okay, USD, JPY, or USD, JPB, USD. So I actually reviewed them on my side. These pairs, I watch them daily. So USD, JPY, I'm going to start with this one, USD, JPY, and I will reactivate the share screen. Share again. Okay. So USD JPY actually is of interest. So the setup is nice, right? You have a cross here. You have a cross of Vola trade and trend here. The problem again is look at where house value is. Vimomo value is for the short term, almost at 2. So it's a big problem, right? So when this cross happened, I would have been like, not yet. Here on the retest of trade, yes, I would have taken the trade here, trade long here. Doesn't mean we don't get a fail, right? But here would have been a nice place to. We just 2 or 3 days ago, so would have been a nice place to try. The issue with FX pairs is that you need a macro view on this one, but here would be a nice place to start. The thing is, you need to have a good stop, and you need to monitor if you don't get this kind of thing here with volatility rising and making higher highs. So here, sure, define your stop based on your risk assessment, and then you need to monitor, okay, if I start to see the blue line climb higher, okay, I need to see, do we have a higher low, higher high? So yeah, not buying here, but would have bought here. The next one you mentioned was it's a pain in the ass Zoom. How do I see the question again? Okay, it's here. Euro USD and GBP USD, of course. I know Euro USD is not there yet. Okay, so we are very, very far from it. Very, very far. This is what I call bottom ticking. So people will try to call, okay, this is the ultimate move. TXY has stopped, and maybe now it's time to go back to Euro USD. And actually, I think a lot of macro guys thought that, because if you monitor the range, the trend for the CAC 40, for instance, CAC just went parabolic for the past like 4 or 5 days. And my bet is because they are expecting dollar to top and Euro USD to bottom. So for now, the signal is definitely not saying that. Sure, Vola is starting to make lower high, lower lows, but we are very, very far from trade crossing trend. So this is just wishful thinking, right? You are trying to project a thesis, a macro thesis that maybe DXY has stopped and USD has gone low enough. For now, it's not what I see. I mean, I have no reason to buy this one except just for fun. So no, Euro USD, not buying it based on trade and trend. You may have other indicator, may have other setup, etc., that could tell you to buy it, right? I'm not saying, okay, this is impossible that Euro USD has bottom, but if you are using trade and trend, no, I'm not even looking at it. I mean, base case is you would be looking for a retest of 1.06 something to actually continue to short. JVP, this one got absolutely wrecked. Yeah, same. Absolutely disgusting. So actually, this one was a nice short, right? On the break of MFR trend and trying to retest my Vola trend and just puked. Anytime retested, puke. And here, nothing. It's just bottom searching. You can try, but very risky. And frankly, I think there are better things to do than trying to get this one. So what you can do is maybe you set up an alert to see when they cross. And when it happens, have a look again. Maybe the thesis will be more correct when this happens. Okay, shorting, okay. Yeah, well, Okay, let's say you are looking to short. Okay, let's say you are, yeah, so GBP USD and your USD, wait for retest of MFR trend on the high end and my volatility trend. I would guess that it's good if it has to rise, right? If it has to rise, it's gonna go somewhere here, and then you're gonna see a lot of difficulties for it. We may not get even this move, but I would guess this is where it's gonna go. The Euro USD probably the same. So yeah, for short continuation, this is where you would have to look. Okay. I'm here, guys. You can ask any question regarding the script. So, okay, so Fitzroy is asking, so yeah, I take it the reverse of the process applies to short. So let's go. Okay, so I very seldom short. Okay, I very seldom short. This is because I had very bad experience in 22 attempting to short, and I have decided that it's just too risky for me. Okay, I prefer to be cash or just wait for. I may take a few shorts here and there, but so it will be difficult for me to reply the inverse apply to short. I would guess what you want to see when you have a short, when you have a bearish asset, what you want to see is you want to see a rising vol. So let's take GBP USD as an example. What you want to see is same thing here. You have rising vol, rising volatility. So let's say you have a thesis, your guy that is feeding you tickers that are bearish, is telling you they are bearish, and you should short them. What you want to see is this. You want to see higher lows, higher highs, and you want to see this continue. When you start to see the volatility making lower highs, this is when maybe you can consider, okay, the mid is already, I have already eaten the mid, right? So maybe the thesis is about to change. So in that scenario, it didn't happen, right? It continued to go down. So I would not encourage you to use trade and trend to short. At least I will not be able to provide you with good answers. So on paper, yes, the inverse should work. The problem is shorting is definitely it's an art. It's something people are good at. I'm not good at it, so it's very hard for me to give you good recommendations. But I would guess yes. I would guess you have to think about it as the inverse. But I would encourage you backtest it, try it, and yeah. So this is personal history, right? What's the difference between trend signal and MFR trend? So my trend signal is purely based on volatility. It has no other input than volatility. So the way it was built, so I explained it at the beginning. I started with this script, the volatility script. The way it works was, I forgot the name of the guy, but very famous guy in trading was, I think it was in the 90s. He was looking for a way to generate some kind of VIX for any ticker. And he actually managed to do it. So the name of this formula is VIX Fix. VIX Fix. I call it like a synthetic volatility of the asset. You don't need to worry about put calls and all these things. Some guys are good at it. I just don't have the time, right? So I managed to use this formula and expand on it so that I could measure the volatility of the asset. And so again, this thing is just that calculations, these calculations projected onto price. Okay, so I'm purely monitoring volatility. Trend, MFR trend does not only use volatility. It uses other components such as actually Vi could answer that, but because Vi designed the MFR trend, but it doesn't only use volatility. This is why we decided to add this one on top to give more information, more probabilities, more, I'd say, improve your odds when you are making decisions. But MFR trend is superior to my trade and trend because it uses more components, more inputs, more data. Also, the look back period used for MFR trend changes. Mine doesn't. It's static look back period. So in my mind, because I have checked for many years now what was the best, and MFR trend always surpasses my trade and trade volatility. The only issue with MFR trend is that it will not give you maybe an entry or a view as to maybe where the volatility is. When I mentioned the mean, you can use for the max as well, by the way, but I use the mean because I'm looking for when to get out of my longs. MFR trend will not give you that. My volatility script will tell you that. If you have some mean from the past, the mean will repeat itself. And so there are different formulas, there are different inputs. MFR use some volatility aspect, but not only, it has more than that. So I cannot go more into that because I would have to reveal the formula, and also Vi is the one that designed it. So I would guess it can give you more information without revealing what's inside. So that was a question from Jace. So again, the idea, guys, is I mean, I don't want you to copy trade, right? We are not telling you. I know some people, they do this. They say, okay, I buy there, I sell there, and what did you learn? You learn absolutely nothing. You just copy what they are telling you to buy, telling you when to sell. But I mean, did you learn anything? The idea of these scripts is to make you autonomous. I mean, once you understand how it works, especially considering that you can use the scripts on any tickers, all you have to do is just backtest them, just check the tickers, the history. Okay, where should I buy? Where should I sell? I don't need to cover this ticker because you can cover it yourself and you can make your own assessment. So that's another reason why we open so many scripts for you. Actually, we met on Twitter. So somebody asked how we funded the company. So actually, I didn't met Vi first. I met because we are three partners. I met our third partner. I was developing my volatility script at the time, and I was trying to use vol to define range. And the problem is I was stuck, and I met our third partner, and he helped me regarding range, and he said, oh, I know a guy who actually cracked the code, and that was Vi. So he introduced me to Vi, and then we thought, oh my God, we have a good product, and why don't we launch something to improve the training of people? That's how it was created. That's how we met. That was a question from Fitzroy Kennedy. Okay, let me check if there is another question in the chat. So nothing in in the Zoom. Nothing more in the chat, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Amabilis. Thank you, Fitzroy. Thank you. Okay, guys. I don't see any other question. So yeah, again, use it. The idea is to empower you to, I mean, we want you to be autonomous. We don't want you just to be like robots. Like so many people on FinTweets are like this. They are like, yeah, just subscribe to my Telegram and just follow my stuff. And you have no idea how it works, right? You are not learning anything. On the learning path is very, very long. At least here you have a visual representation of what it looks like. Yeah, Vi replied. So MFR trend was designed to give a simple but reliable view on overall directionality of an asset, bearish, bullish, or neutral. It uses prices, volatility, and a few other data points. Thank you, Vi. Okay, guys. So, I mean, I'm always open. Just, I mean, you can screen. I mean, something else also. With Vi, we don't care if you share data on Twitter. I mean, just don't give it like just don't start to type a range and trend, you know, every day on your Twitter profile. But I'm okay with you taking screenshot and sending me a question like, okay, Raf, I'm seeing that. Is this a correct assessment or not? You can shoot me an email on MFR. I mean, don't be afraid. I mean, we are not like other. We're not going to sue you, right? So, so feel free to do that, to share, to ask questions. I mean, the idea is again to make you autonomous. Okay, guys. So I think we are good. Feel free to reach out. I hope it was useful. I will post this video on our channel, so you guys can rewatch it. I really hope you enjoyed it and you will find it useful. And again, appropriate yourself the script. It's made for this. Use it, take it, own it, and ask questions anytime you want. Okay, take care, guys.